Okay, if you're watching this while getting ready 20 minutes after you were supposed to leave, hi, welcome, sit down, this one's for you. Chronic lateness gets treated like a character flaw, like you're rude or lazy or you just don't respect people's time. But if you actually look at what's going on underneath it, it's rarely about the clock at all. Today, we're getting into why you're always late, what your brain is actually doing in those missing 20 minutes, and how to fix it without turning into someone who shows up 45 minutes early out of pure anxiety. Part 1. It's not a time problem, it's a prediction problem. Here's the first thing that surprises people. Chronically late people are usually terrible, specifically at estimating how long things take. Not lazy, not careless, just running on faulty math. There's a name for it: planning fallacy. And it means your brain consistently underestimates how long a task will take, even when you've done that exact task 100 times before. You've left the house late for the same appointment for years, and somehow every single time, your brain goes, "This time I'll make it." Like a golden retriever convinced this is the walk, it finally catches the squirrel. And it's not evenly distributed either. Late people tend to underestimate transition time specifically, the gap between finishing one thing and actually leaving. You know exactly how long the drive takes. What you're bad at predicting is the 5 minutes you'll spend looking for your keys, the quick email you'll answer on the way out, the extra half a song you let play because it's a good part. Each one feels like nothing. They're never nothing. This is also why "just leave earlier" never actually works as advice. And it's a little insulting how often it gets offered like it's a revelation. You already know what time you're supposed to leave. The problem was never a lack of information. It's that your brain doesn't experience 20 minutes from now as real until it's basically already here. Time in the distance feels abstract and flexible. Time right on top of you feels urgent and fixed. So you're not ignoring the clock. You're just not able to feel it yet. Part 2. The last minute rush is the point. Here's the part that's harder to admit. For a lot of chronically late people, that frantic, heart-pounding sprint out the door isn't a failure of the system. It kind of is the system. Some people genuinely focus better under time pressure. Their brain doesn't fully engage until the deadline is breathing on their neck. So a task that should take 10 minutes gets pushed until there's exactly 10 minutes left, because that's the only condition under which the brain agrees to cooperate. The lateness isn't an accident happening to you. It's a coping mechanism you built to make yourself functional, and it worked well enough, often enough, that you never had a reason to replace it. There's also a sneakier version of this, and it's less about adrenaline and more about control. Being late can be the last 5 minutes of the day that actually belong to you. If your schedule is packed wall to wall with other people's expectations, running behind can be the only rebellion available. A small, quiet no to a day that never asked what you wanted. It's not that you don't respect the other person's time. It's that you're starving for a little bit of your own, and this is the only place you found to steal it back. And once you notice that pattern, it explains a lot of small, weirdly specific behaviors. Why you'll answer one more email instead of leaving on time. Why you'll suddenly decide the dishes need to happen right now. Why a task that felt boring 5 minutes ago becomes strangely urgent the second you're supposed to walk out the door. That's not procrastination in the normal sense. That's your brain grabbing the last available minutes before they get handed over to someone else's agenda. Part 3. Optimism is doing more damage than you think. This one sounds backwards, but stay with me. Chronically late people are often, weirdly, optimists. Not about big life stuff necessarily. About traffic, about lines, about how fast they personally move through a bathroom routine. You imagine the best-case version of every single step, and then you stack 5 best-case guesses on top of each other and call that your schedule. No traffic, no line at the coffee shop, no text that needs a reply. Every one of those assumptions is individually reasonable. Stacked together, they're basically fantasy. And once you're running late, a second thing kicks in, a kind of, well, I'm already late so logic that makes 5 more minutes feel free. You've already blown the original time, so what's 5 more scrolling on your phone? This is the same mental trick that makes people abandon a diet entirely after one bad meal. Once the plan breaks, it feels broken completely, instead of just slightly bent. That one extra scroll compounds every single time, and it's the reason 20 minutes late quietly becomes 40. Practical takeaways. So practically, what actually helps? 1. Stop estimating how long the task takes and start estimating how long everything around the task takes. Add 50% to your first instinct for transition time specifically, not the main event. 2. Pick one fixed anchor point, like I leave when this song ends, or I leave at the hour mark no matter what, instead of a vague plan to leave soon. Vague plans lose to specific triggers every time. 3. If you know you focus better under pressure, build in a fake earlier deadline on purpose. Tell yourself the appointment is 15 minutes before it actually is. Yes, you'll know it's a trick. It works anyway, because the part of your brain that panics doesn't check your math. 4. If the lateness is really about reclaiming your own time, don't fight that instinct, just relocate it. Block out 10 real minutes for yourself earlier in the day, on purpose, so you're not stealing it in traffic while someone's waiting on you. 5. Track it for 1 week honestly, without judging yourself while you do it. Just write down what you were actually doing in the 10 minutes before you were supposed to leave. Most people are shocked by how boring and repetitive the answer is. It's rarely a big dramatic reason. It's almost always the same small habit, on repeat, hiding in plain sight. Look, being chronically late doesn't mean you don't care about people. Most late people care so much they're mortified every single time it happens, and then it happens again anyway, which is its own special kind of exhausting. The fix isn't shame, and it definitely isn't another app that yells at you. It's understanding that your brain is optimizing for something pressure, control, a sliver of stolen time, and giving it a version of that thing that doesn't cost you your relationships. You're not bad at time, you're just bad at admitting how much of it you need for yourself. Before you go, if you watched this whole thing and thought, yeah, I'm the last minute rush person, do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe if you're new, and comment the actual reason you're late, not the excuse you give people at the door. What's really going on in those missing 20 minutes? I read every one of these, and half of you are about to expose yourselves. See you in the next one.